Hi there YouTube, Big G, back again with another video, and this time a response video. Tony from ElectricAdventures asked the question, what were your top 3 games that attracted you to a system? Now I thought about this, and what came to mind was the Spectra Video system. Now if you follow my channel, you know that I'm a big fan of Spectra Video. But at the time I actually owned a Spectrum, and I can specifically remember going to visit a store in my hometown, and walking in there to look for Spectrum games. And while I was looking around, they had a Spectra Video on display, a 328, and they had Sector Alpha playing on it. Now Sector Alpha is this great 3D sort of space shoot 'em up type game, and I had never seen something like this before, you know, having just owned a Spectrum. And I immediately thought to myself, I got to get this system. So the first thing I tried to do was try to trade in my Spectrum for the Spectra Video. So obviously the shop said no. I mean, I must have been 9, 10, 11 years old, somewhere around there. But I eventually got my Spectra Video sometime later. I can't remember if I sold my Spectrum or whatever happened, but I got my Spectra Video. But I never managed to get Sector Alpha because it was one of those ROM games, and ROM games are very expensive and very rare to actually get hold of. I'm not sure if it came out on cassette, maybe it did. So Sector Alpha was the game that actually attracted me to the system, and I never managed to ever play it. I think I only played it in the actual demonstration at that shop, but I had to have that system. And then once I'd finally bought the system, the games that I really enjoyed the most for that system was, first of all, Turboat, which was a shoot 'em up, but it's sort of like at an isometric angle. With this boat that travels up and down the river, and you got to shoot obviously the enemies that are coming down. I thoroughly enjoyed Turboat. And then the next game that I really enjoyed was Sasa on the Spectra Video. Now what I enjoyed about Sasa was good music and very fluid gameplay, and the colors and the sprites and so forth. So my top 3 games for the system was Sector Alpha, which I never got to play or own, but attracted me to the system, Turboat, and Sasa. And then obviously the games that came free with the system I actually spent more time playing, because there was actually very few games for the Spectra Video system, and that was Armored Assault and Spectron, which were 2 great games that were thrown in free with the system. And I remember playing Armored Assault against my brother for hours and hours and hours, because it was one of those games where you needed 2 players to play the tank battles. So yeah, those are my games that attracted me to the Spectra Video system. Pity it didn't take off in a much stronger way, because I think the Spectra Video is a very underrated system. I mean, it was the precursor to the MSX that came out, which was much more popular worldwide, but it wasn't available in South Africa. But the Spectra Video was, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and which I collect. Wherever I get the chance, I purchase some machines and so forth. So yeah, that's from me, and I hope you enjoyed that, and great question, Tony. Otherwise, cheers from me guys, and remember, keep it retro.